Good morning to everyone. I am going to give an analysis of today's some important news from the from Hindu paper. Okay, one important news is page number 8 in Hindu. Stapled visa issue unresolved. It is a very important news. Stapled visa issue unresolved. This article throws light on some contemporary and burning issues which remain unresolved between India and China till this moment. One such important thing is that stapled visa. Stapled visa means what? It is a kind of visa which is actually applied in case of repugnancy between the two countries. For example, staple visa means when a person goes from India to China, the Chinese authority does not directly put Chinese stamp in the visa of Indian national. That means China is not recognizing India's existence in the world. Instead of directly putting the Chinese stamp in the visa of Indian national, what the Chinese government will do? Chinese government will instead put a kind of stapled recognition of Chinese government in the pages of the passport. Okay, what is stapled passport? Stapled visa means a country does not recognize a country does not put the governmental stamp on the visa of another country's national. Instead, it put the stamp in the other pages of the visa. Okay, that means the country is not recognizing another country's existence. For example, when any person from Arunachal Pradesh go to Chinese government does not put directly the stamp of Chinese government in the visa of Arunachal Pradesh personnel. Instead, what the Chinese authority will do? Chinese authority will instead put the stamp in as a stapled manner in some other pages of the visa. Okay, it is a very burning issue between China and Indian government. That means the issue is still unresolved. Okay, that means China is still not recognizing the existence of Arunachal Pradesh. Means China does not consider Arunachal Pradesh as an integral part of India. Okay, this is a very burning issue that existing between China and India. Then another thing is that Pakistan-China economic corridor. What is the issue with this Pakistan-China economic corridor? The issue is that China is involving in building a roadway from China to Pakistan for economic transaction. Okay, but the most burning thing is that this road will pass through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It is a very strategic threat to the Indian government. Okay, it is another issue. Then another thing is that China, India has proposed in United Nations. India has proposed in United Nations Security Council to announce Hizbullah Mujahideen chief Syed Salahuddin as an international terrorist and international threat. India has proposed in United Nations Security Council to sanction against Hizbullah Mujahideen chief Syed Salahuddin. Okay, but what the China government is doing? China government is thinking to go against this sanction. Indian government is trying to sanction against Hizbullah Mujahideen chief Syed Salahuddin. Okay, but in United Nations Security Council, but against this Chinese government is thinking to go against this. Means India wants to sanction against these terrorists in United Nations Security Council, but Chinese government does not want to sanction this. Okay, these are the main burning issues. The last burning issue, the Indian government wants to Mujahideen chief sanction. Indian government wants to recognize this Mujahideen chief as an international threat in international forum, and China does not want it. That means what? China government is still away from the friendship of India. Means apparently both China and Indian government recognizes terrorists as an international threat, but in reality what is happening? China government is not usual. China government is not willing to recognize international trade, to recognize terrorists as an international threat. That means what? It is not in cooperation with India. These three issues: stapled visa, China-Pakistan economic corridor, and sanction of Mujahideen chief Shahid Salahuddin. These three issues are burning issues that comes in relationship between India and China. Until and unless these issues are resolved between India and China, it cannot be said properly that India and China is in a friendly relation. The first thing is that staple visa. Staple visa means a country does not put her government's stamp in the visa or passport of another country's national, because the country does not want to recognize the existence of the country directly. Okay, China is putting using this argument to using this provision to Arunachal Pradesh. That means China does not abide by the Arunachal Pradesh as an integral part of India. Okay, this is one issue. The another issue is that China-Pakistan economic corridor. The most important thing is that this corridor will passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which is a disputed area, and if this if building happens and if passes through China Pakistan occupied Kashmir, then it will be a internal strategic threat to India. Okay, then another thing is that India wants to sanction Mujahideen chief in United Nations Security Council as an international terrorist and international threat, but China wants to go against it. These three issues has to be resolved very quickly for a permanent and friendly relation between India and Pakistan. This topic is related with GS2, and the topic is India and neighborhood relations, India and international policy. Okay, this topic this article throws light on this topic from GS2. Okay, then I'm going to another important news. Center of page number 1, first page. Center notifies simple IT forms, means the income tax return form. The center has taken some steps to simplify income tax return form. Before that, what happened? A person has to form fill up a very lengthy income tax return field. Okay, now government has waived these lengthy provisions in income tax return and has do away with some lengthy provisions. Okay, that means what? Simplified income tax return. This article is important from what point of view? Okay, it will relate to GS3 of our syllabus. How it will relate to GS3? Simplified tax regime. It is a part of simplified tax regime. Means simpler income tax return form means simplified tax regime. Okay, it is indirectly related with simplified tax regime, and simplified tax regime is a part of good governance and transparency. Okay, in this way it will relate the topic good governance, transparency and simplified tax regime. It will cover GS3. Okay, the question might arise that what do you mean by income tax return? What are the recent provisions government has taken to make income tax return simplified? Okay, how simplified income tax return form can contribute to a healthy tax regime in India? Okay, these are some questions that can be posed by the article. Then another thing is that India and Bangladesh is soon going to exchange the enclave. Okay, land boundary treaty. India and Bangladesh is soon going to materialize land boundary treaty, and here the most important thing is that enclave and exclave. There are two terms here, enclave and exclave. Enclave means the part of a country surrounded by the territory of another country. Okay, exclave means part of a country who is separated by the geographical boundary of another country. Okay, India and Bangladesh will exchange the enclave between the two countries. Okay, the important question is that the question that might arise from this article is that whether in reality this what is the issue? The issue is that the people who are living in the enclave, the people Bangladeshi people who are living in Indian enclave, the Indian people who are living in Bangladeshi enclave, the people are very downtrodden. Their social condition, their economic condition, and who are so poor that they are living a very poor life. Okay, they were deprived of all the modern facilities. They are economically very poor, socially very poor. They are deprived of the facilities of electricity, basic education, water facilities, sanitary. All the things are lacking. All these basic human necessities are lacking in this enclave. Okay, the question is that whether the materialization of land boundary between India and Bangladesh will improve the conditions of this enclave in real terms, and if yes, why, and if no, why, what are the roadblocks and what are the hindrances. Okay, you have to discuss these things. Okay, you have to chart out, you have to find out these questions from this article after researching or surfing in net. Okay, another thing is that whether all the issues will be resolved between India and Bangladesh through this. No, because the one roadblock and one of the most contentious issues that unresolved between India and Bangladesh is the water dispute regarding Tista River. Okay, Tista River, there is a water dispute is going on between India and Bangladesh regarding Tista River, who will own what amount of water. Okay, who will use which portion of the river. Okay, until and unless this Tista River dispute has been solved, and another important news in today's Hindus, page number 7. The page number 7 bears two articles regarding Telangana. Okay, that all knows that why Telangana movement arose. It is because of discrimination and inequality. Okay, it is of the upper class domination. Okay, the exploitation of lower class. Okay, the lower class is always dominated by the upper class, who own the most of the land. Okay, I am not going to these things which are generally common and which generally everyone knows. Okay, why Telangana was separated and why it arose as a new state. All knows the history and all know other things. Okay, then I am going to focus according to the article on two aspects and two main points, which are that State Reorganization Act. Okay, in the history after independence, we have seen that there is a very ferocious violent movement occurred on the linguistic basis, who demanded separate state on the basis of language. It is an era just after independence. Okay, and now it is a movement long years after the independence. And what is the difference between the state reorganization demand right after independence and long after independence? What is the difference? What is the difference between a state reorganization demand which occurred just right after 1947 and which occurred now in this 21st century? What is the difference? The difference is that the state reorganization demand that occurred just right after 1947, they were very narrow on purpose. Okay, that does not reflect the social and economic parity, the social and economic soul and social and economic unity. Okay, their main purpose was on the language similarity of language. Okay, similarity of language. They wanted the separation of state on very narrow basis. Everyone demanded that we have a similar language. That is why we don't want to mix up with those who have another language. We want a state on the on our we want to separate state on language basis. But now the Telangana movement is what? In this case, Telangana is not only based on a linguistic basis. Okay, Telangana encompasses a diverse aspect. Okay, they are not telling that we have a similar language, that's why we need a separate state. Okay, here in Telangana movement, people from different socio-economic backgrounds are united. All of have different socio-economic status, all some of have different languages. People are not from the same linguistic pattern, they are mixing. People are with different languages from different socio-economic background, and they are stood, in this case they stand against the exploitation of upper class. Okay, and the basis, that is why in second case, this state reorganization in second case in Telangana is very significant from the socio-economic background of the country. Okay, thus that state reorganization movement that happened just after 1947 was narrow on its base, and the state reorganization movement that happens at this moment, at this 21st century, this 2013 and just happened after 1960. Okay, they both have different purposes. Okay, it is very significant. The question arises, a question might come, how the state reorganization movement after 1960 is different the state reorganization movement before 1960. Okay, how the state reorganization movement after 1960 or that began right from 1960 is different from the state reorganization movement that occurred before 1960. The main difference is that the before 1960 the purpose base of the state reorganization was very narrow. It was on simply a linguistic basis, but now the state reorganization movement that is happening, its narrow and purpose are most divergent. It is not limited to only linguistic basis. It encompasses the diverse socio-economic background, and they stand against the exploitation of exploitative machinery of state. Okay, it is very important, and it relates to federal structure of constitution from our GS topic of GS2. Okay, as well as social equity. Okay, distribution of resources. Okay, all these things, all these topics of this it will cover, because equity of distribution is very necessary. Okay, then another most important aspect of this thing is that the second state reorganization committee, it has been formed 2 years before recently. Okay, then what is the purpose of second state reorganization committee? The question that the answer that you have to search is, what should be the criteria of second state reorganization committee? How the second state reorganization committee, how the second state reorganization committee can fulfill the socio-economic inequality existing at present time in India. Okay, these are the main things which this article covers. I am not going to, I already told you that here I am not discussing the history of Telangana movement, what are the social inequality and how it can be prevented. I am discussing the two main aspects. The main aspect is that how this Telangana reorganization movement is different from the state reorganization movement that happened just after the 1947, and what should be the provisions of second state reorganization committee to give a social and economic to provide a social and economic equality among states in India. Okay. Another important news in today's Hindu newspaper is that page number 2 news is West Bengal to include child rights in curriculum. It is a very important news. Importance of child right. Importance of child right as a curriculum. Importance of child right as a curriculum. There are different child laws at this moment in the country. For example, Juvenile Justice Act, the Right to Education Act, and Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. There are different acts, okay, which are prevalent at current scenario. The thing is that lack of awareness. Because of awareness, lots of crimes related to child are happening. It is either due to the guardian of the child, or either due to the society, or either due to the child itself. Okay, in certain extent the guardian of the child might be illiterate, but child generally goes to a school. Okay, the awareness of these acts, okay, throughout the curriculum to a child will be a very necessary and novel step to educate the child right from the early period at a very as a very appropriate way. Okay, it is one of the steps to make the child a conscious citizen. Okay, because the child will be aware about his rights itself. That is why this step to include child rights in curriculum is a very novel step, and it will usher a new era where the child will be created in future society as a much more politically conscious citizen. Okay, it is a very important act, and besides this non-constitutional body, statutory body is a topic in GS2. Okay, Child Right Commission is a statutory body. Okay, the role of there might be a question. Okay, the role of non-statutory body like Child Right Commission, the role of constitutional body. Okay, there are different constitutional bodies also. Okay, the role of constitutional body and role of statutory body. Okay, it is a topic that you have to charge. The role of statutory body as a prevention of crime. Okay, the role of statutory body to the society. Okay, role of statutory body related to women, related to child and their contribution to society, and their role in preventing crimes related to child, related to women. These are the different issues that has been arisen by this article. Okay, it is related to GS2. Hope this article will help you, and this article will compel you to think what will be the far-reaching impact on society as a result of including child rights as a curriculum in school, right from the school ages. And another very important article in today's newspaper is page number 5. Solar impulse begins its toughest stretch. Okay, the solar aircraft has begun its journey from China to Hawaii. Okay, a solar aircraft has begun its journey from Nanjing district in China to Hawaii. It is an important article because it is a very burning and hot topic, solar energy. Okay, the far-reaching impact and unimaginable impact of solar energy and its implication. Okay, here you have to charge on what is solar energy. Okay, and what is its impact in society. Okay, what is its impact in society. Okay, in case of this article, another thing is that what is solar aircraft. You have to search what is solar aircraft, and the most important thing is that what are the challenges in this solar impulse. The challenges are that it will during the daytime it will go up to 9,000 meter. It will go up to 9,000 meter because for catching the solar rays that will charge its surge its battery. Okay, but during the night time it will come down 1,000 meter. Okay, because but the most obstacle is that weather phenomenon. In case of Asia, what happened? Typhoon, cyclone are a very common phenomenon. Okay, these weather phenomenon generally poses a threat to this kind of solar aircraft at this moment. Okay, then what might be the possible solutions in this case? Okay, you have to consider these things, and it will cover GS3 chimes and its application, this topic. Okay, and for today, in my view, these are the important news from Hindu that can be that are directly or indirectly related with your syllabus. Hope you will be benefited, and take care. Bye bye till then. We will meet again tomorrow. Okay, and don't forget to give your comment in the comment box. Okay, thank you.